How's it going, everybody? Welcome to our Bible study. Here we go. All right. Okay, then. I did a video. What all that was about as I'm clearing everything off. Um, yeah, this world is just something else, isn't it? I'll show you. Irreconcilable differences. When you look at irreconcilable differences, you see the movie poster. Let's save this for a second. So Drew Barrymore, who was in Donnie Darko and was a producer of Donnie Darko, which stands for Donald's Darkened Right Eye. And a dark O is a new moon also, which is all about a solar eclipse. And the movie featured a lot of eclipse symbolism. But do you see how Shelley Long is Lucifer or Lucy Fur? You know, Lucy. Lucifer. That's their world, that's their religion, where he shapeshifts into the she. And they think more than likely that it is a she, but of course it's just shapeshifting at its finest, like that realm can do. And as God's, if that's what they're doing, then that's what God's ordained that they do. And what was Shelley Long's name in Irreconcilable Differences? Or her character's name? It was Lucy Van Patten Brodsky, which is broad sky, the Broadway, maybe, and yeah, that's interesting. The Patton, Robert Pattinson is Batman, so you have to, I can't keep up, but everything in their world has very exact meaning. And it's very interesting, isn't it? If I run that, we get 230. That's interesting. I don't want to keep saying interesting. Then let's get Lucy Van Patten before she got married in the movie. 1670, 144. Okay. Anyway, it's very interesting that it's Lucy. And it's very interesting. See, those things aren't coincidences. No. And you got to love the way the right eye has a little extra added. Like a black eye. Black is dark, darkened right eye. Per the Zechariah 11:17 Bible verse. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. But let's get on with it. Oh, we might have finished that. Oh, it goes over to 7:2. Okay. We didn't finish that, which is just fine. Then we come over to Matthew, and that would be 12:2 to 12:11. We can do that. Have I been getting any feedback from the Bible studies? Not that I've noticed. That doesn't mean it hasn't happened. Just keep commenting. Hopefully I'll see it. But I can check real quick. Anyway, let's get on with it. I got lost doing other stuff, and I remember what we were talking about, but yeah, interesting. This world we live in. It's fascinating. It's mind-blowing. All right, the king commanded, and they brought those men which had accused Daniel, and they cast them into the den of lions, them, their children, their wives, and the lions had mastery of them, and break all their bones into pieces, or ever they came at the bottom of the den. So this Darius the Mede knew he was tricked. He loved Daniel. He was tricked into putting Daniel's life in danger. He told Daniel that his God would deliver him. And he goes on to say the same things Nebuchadnezzar said, and Nebuchadnezzar was called to be a sheep. He wrote Daniel chapter 4. You don't get to write in the Bible unless you're a sheep. And Daniel chapter 4 is written by Nebuchadnezzar in that first person, and how he was called, how he was humbled, and then called to salvation. So let's continue with Darius the Mede, which is the next kingdom of Mystery Babylon. When it says there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, Nebuchadnezzar and Darius the Mede were not fallen. They were the first 2 kings of Mystery Babylon, which today is quite the mystery as it runs the earth. It's also known as the mystery religions. And their world is goddess. What's on top of the capital? The goddess. It's all about the divine feminine, the yoni. The 666 hand signal, they call it, is nothing more than a yoni. And at Trump Tower, the upside down 6 by 6 by 6 bushes, like George Bush, is nothing more than divine feminine symbolism. Remember when Trump was running and all he did was keep throwing the yoni hand signal out? And everybody was like, it's 666. Well, it's both. It's kind of like when you teach math and they go, is that a subtraction? Do I view that as subtraction, or is that a negative number? Like, well, it's both. You just have to apply the rule. Anyway, then King Darius wrote unto all people, nations, and languages that dwell in all the earth, because they ran the earth. Peace be multiplied unto you, he opens with. Then he follows with, I make a decree that in every dominion of my kingdom, men tremble and fear before the God of Daniel, which is the God of the Bible, which is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's the sovereign God. It's the creator God. Is that just the God of the Old Testament? No, that's the actor God playing the role that the sovereign God ordained he would play. You know, where he kept reacting to the Jews, where people think God's just a reactor God. See what he did in the Old Testament? Jews did this, so then God reacted. We all have free will. We're just all randomly running around. Nah. The Word was before anything was made that was made, which meant every story in the Word was already ordained to take place before the earth was even made. Just like a movie, the script is written, then the movie set is built. Or God ordained the end from the beginning, or in the beginning was the Word, and everything that was made was made by the Word, made the exact specification of the Word. That's John 1 through 3, paraphrasing. In the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And it goes on, paraphrasingly, it's like, let's just read it. I'm getting all confused. Everything that was made, and everything that was made by the word. I am having a mess. John 1:1, King James Version, Bible Gateway. Okay, here we go. But you'll see what I mean. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God, and all things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. Yeah, it's a little tongue twisting. And if your brain's working too fast, you'll scramble right out of that and butcher it just like I did. So it was in the beginning with God. Before the movie set was made, all things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. And on verse 14, it says the word was made flesh and dwelt among them. And that's the actor God that then came in and played the role that the sovereign God already had ordained that he would play. Because the script was already written. Because Isaiah 46:10, which is married to this 3-verse passage, and I call it the most important verse in all the Word of God, it says, declaring the end from the beginning, from ancient times to the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, I will do my pleasure. Declaring the end, Revelation, from the beginning, Genesis, from ancient times, Genesis, to the things that are not yet done, Revelation, saying, my counsel shall stand, I will do my pleasure. This whole existence is for God's pleasure. And only sheep are called to understand that and to then like it or love it. There's things they might not like in hope of, there's things we might not like, but we do learn to love them. Eventually, one way or another. One way. Sorry. And his dominion shall be even unto the end. There you go. He delivereth and rescueth, and he worketh signs and wonders in heaven and in earth. Who hath delivered Daniel from the power of the lions? So this Daniel prospered in the reign of Darius and in the reign of Cyrus the Persian. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of heaven strove upon the great sea. All right, over to Matthew 12, 2 through 11. But when the Pharisees saw it, what was that, plucking of the corn? They said unto him, behold, thy disciples do that which is not lawful, according to our oral law, to do upon the Sabbath day. Again, Jesus' only problem, other than with the demonic realm, was with the demonic realm that ran his church, the scribes and the Pharisees, leaders of religious law. Jesus didn't run around yelling at pagans. He'd care less. What sheep hate, what I hate, what Jesus hates, is a false religion that bears his name. In his case, that bared God the Father or God of the Old Testament, and in our case now, those that bear the name of Jesus, those religions that bear his name. Whether it comes out of all roads lead to Rome, we know that place where the obelisk faces the dome, the lost blank of Osiris facing the womb or the divine feminine. What sits on top of the Capitol? Capitol's a dome. represents the womb, the goddess. I think that's what we were talking about earlier. Anywho, but he said unto them, have you not read what David did when they were hungry and the guys that were with him? How he actually went right into the house of God and ate the showbread, which was not lawful for them to eat, or those that were with him. It was only for the priest. For did you not read in the law how that on the Sabbath days the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless? How that on the Sabbath days the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless. Goodness gracious. But I say unto you that in this place is one greater than that temple, because now the temple of God is walking among them. But if ye had known what this meaneth, and they're blinded, aren't they? I will have mercy and not sacrifice. Ye would not have condemned the guiltless. For the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath. He is God of the Sabbath. He's Lord of the Sabbath, and we enter into his Sabbath rest when he calls us by his Spirit. We don't have to keep holy days anymore, or keep Sabbath days, or keep the Sabbath. As we have him in our heart, he dwelleth in us in hope of. And when he was departed thence, he went into their synagogue, and behold, there was a man which had his hand withered. And they asked him, saying, is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath days? So that they might accuse him. And he said unto them, what man shall there be among you that shall have one of your sheep fall into the pit on, a Sabbath day? Will y'all not go grab hold of that sheep and get it out to save it? I'm glad you're here. Love you very much. Ask questions anytime. That's what I'm here for.